Hi everyone, welcome to a little reading video. I'm just going to be reading this Reader's Digest, Foods That Harm, Foods That Heal, and I am also chewing gum. I usually don't like gum chewing videos, and I think a lot of people don't, but for me it kind of depends on how much they're chewing. So if it's kind of just in the mouth and they're not really like actively biting down, then it's okay for me. So I thought I would try and see how it comes out if I just do that. A little experiment. So this book is for Southern Africa. I am South African. It was 70 rand. That's so cheap. Oh my gosh. And it's very cool because it has subheadings, and they're both conditions like acne, in which they will recommend the foods that you should eat if you are struggling with acne. And then, so yeah, you can see arthritis. And then they also have different foods, and then in those sections they talk about which conditions the foods help with. So it's quite comprehensive, and I just find it really easy to find what you're looking for. If you suffer from anxiety, you can very easily look for the anxiety entry, which is here, and then find all the information that you need about it. So it's a really old book, so I don't actually know how current the information will be, but it's cool and I've always had it, and let's read it, why not? So I'm gonna do a couple of random entries. Apples, they always say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Let's read that one. So it says apples benefits: a good source of vitamin C depending on the variety, and it may help in the treatment of constipation and diarrhea. So I'm assuming that the saying comes from the fact that vitamin C boosts and strengthens your immune system, so you get sick less often. It says a fresh apple is the ideal healthy snack, easy to carry, filling, juicy and refreshing. Some varieties are a good source of vitamin C, which is an antioxidant and helps to maintain the immune system. Apples are also relatively low in kilojoules and contain a high proportion of fructose. This simple sugar, which is sweeter than sucrose, the main component of sugar cane, is metabolized slowly and so helps to control blood sugar levels. That's interesting. In herbal medicine, ripe, uncooked apples have traditionally been given to treat constipation, while the stewed fruit can be eaten for diarrhea and gastroenteritis. Apples are also used in, I don't know if I know how to pronounce this, but I would say poultices. I don't know what that is. Poultices for skin inflammations. I'm sorry if that's very wrong. People have eaten fresh and dried apples since the Stone Age, and they were popular with the Egyptians as long ago as the 12th century BC. Valuing the fruit for its durability, the Pilgrim Fathers planted apples as one of their first crops in the New World. Drying is one of the oldest forms That was such a loud car, and we have a 9 p.m. curfew at the moment. It's I think it's almost midnight now, so I don't know where this car is going, but anyway. Drying is one of the oldest forms of fruit preservation. The medieval housewife would hang strings of apple rings from the rafters, but today the slices are exposed to the fumes of burning sulfur to prevent them from browning, and then dried in the sun on wire trays. As moisture is lost, natural sugars become concentrated, which is why athletes value dried apples as a source of carbohydrate that is quickly converted to energy. Weight for weight, however, dried apples contain 6 times more kilojoules than fresh ones. The soft, leathery rings are high in fiber and are a moderate source of iron. However, they lose all their vitamin C during the drying process. That's interesting. I guess, depending on who you are, maybe that's not at all interesting to you. Asthma. I think we should read asthma because that's really common. So it says, asthma. Eat plenty of foods rich in the B vitamins, such as green leafy vegetables and pulses, and good sources of magnesium, such as sunflower seeds and dried figs. Avoid foods that trigger attacks according to your susceptibility, such as foods containing additives, cider, wine, and beer. Foods containing yeast or mold, such as bread and blue cheeses. Foods, drinks, and snacks containing colorings, such as tartazine, cow's milk, cereals, eggs, fish, and nuts, especially peanuts. So it says, asthma is a chronic, potentially serious respiratory condition that kills between 4,000 and 6,000 people in South Africa every year. Wow. Some experts divide asthma into two broad groups, extrinsic and intrinsic. The majority of cases are extrinsic. This form of asthma tends to run in families along with other allergic conditions such as eczema and hay fever, and to appear first in childhood. Symptoms may be produced by a variety of triggers such as anxiety, physical stress, infection, environmental pollution, pollen, dust mites, and animal hair. Food allergens or allergies may also prompt attacks or make them worse, especially among children who have eczema. Intrinsic asthma appears to begin in adult life. External factors do not cause it, but they can trigger attacks. However, many health professionals now believe that there is little difference between the two types and that all asthma may in fact be extrinsic. An asthma attack, which can last for minutes or days, makes breathing difficult and may cause wheezing and coughing, along with a sense of tightness in the chest due to the swelling of inflamed bronchial passages. Okay, this is a very medical book actually. So this paragraph talks a lot about additives and preservatives, and then here we get to helpful foods. So foods containing the B vitamins, for example leafy green vegetables and pulses, may help asthmatics whose attacks are provoked by stress. There is also some evidence that asthmatics may have a tendency to be deficient in niacin and vitamins B6 and C. Antioxidants, which include vitamin A from foods such as liver, beta-carotene from brightly colored fruit and vegetables such as apricots, carrots, and red or yellow peppers, and dark green leafy vegetables such as spinach, vitamin C from citrus fruits, and vitamin E from soya beans and olive oil may strengthen the lungs' defenses by mopping up free radicals. These potentially harmful substances are generated as part of an asthmatic's inflammatory response to air pollution or allergens. Magnesium, found in fish, green vegetables, sunflower seeds, and dried figs, may help by relaxing the airways. A British study carried out at the University of Nottingham in 1994 suggested that people with low levels of magnesium were more susceptible to asthma attacks. Current research also suggests that fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, snook, sardines, and cob may help to protect against asthma. They are a rich source of the omega-3 fatty acids, which are thought to have an anti-inflammatory effect. Before the appropriate drugs were available, asthmatics sometimes took coffee to reduce the effects of attacks. That's interesting. Caffeine is chemically similar to theophylline, used in some medications to dilate the bronchial tubes and assist breathing. In emergencies, 2 cups of strong coffee should bring relief within 2 hours, with the effects lasting for up to 6 hours. However, coffee, tea, and caffeine-containing cola drinks should be avoided by those taking theophylline, as the combined effect can be toxic. A high intake of caffeine is also unadvisable if your attacks are triggered by anxiety. Okay. Avocados. Backache. Can you believe that there are certain foods that will help you if you have backache. It seems like backache is very external to what you eat, and regardless of what you eat, you wouldn't expect your backache to get better. I wouldn't expect my backache to get better, but let's see, because they're probably going to explain it, and they're probably going to make it sound like it makes sense. So they say to eat plenty of oily fish, cabbage, guava, papaya and kiwi fruit for their vitamin C, and to cut down on coffee, tea and other drinks containing caffeine, and fat and sugar if you are overweight. So, they say that damage to spinal discs, pressure on nerves, misalignment or inflammation of joints, damaged ligaments or diseased vertebra can all lead to backache. Other common causes include pregnancy, a bad sitting posture, which I have all the time, a bed which does not support your body correctly, a job which involves lifting heavy objects, or suddenly taking up a new sporting activity. A good chiropractor or osteopath should be able to cure most forms of backache, but in the long term, a healthy diet may prevent it occurring in the first place. There are no nutritional cures for backache, though the increased strain that obesity puts on the spine may contribute to the problem, and a sensible program of diet and exercise to lose weight may help to ease the pain. By ensuring that your diet contains all the nutrients needed for healthy bones and muscles, you can also reduce the risks of developing back problems. Protein helps to build up the strong muscle tissue that your back needs, while B vitamins, particularly niacin, strengthen and nourish nerve tissues. Liver and oily fish, such as sardines, mackerel and salmon, are good sources of niacin and vitamin D, which aids the body's absorption of calcium and is important in developing and maintaining healthy bones and nerves. A twice weekly 100-gram helping of any oily fish will provide you with an equivalent of the recommended weekly intake of both these vitamins, while the fatty acids that the fish contain can help to suppress inflammation and so reduce pains in the joints. Cabbage, guavas and papaya and kiwi fruit are all excellent sources of vitamin C, needed for the development and maintenance of strong bones and a healthy nervous system. The daily recommended intake of vitamin C for an adult is 60 milligrams. This is about as much as you would get from eating a small orange, a mango, a small papaya, or a medium guava. However, smokers need at least 80 milligrams a day. If you are suffering from backache, it is wise to cut down on coffee and tea and any other drink containing caffeine, as this relatively mild stimulant narrows the smallest blood vessels at the tip of the arteries. This reduces the flow of blood and nutrients carried in the blood to the spinal tendons, which may slow the healing process. Joints need to keep moving to stay healthy, so whether you want to relieve back pain now or help prevent it in the future, one of the best things you can do is to keep active. Persistent backache is a common problem, especially with increasing age. But it is important to consult your doctor for a proper diagnosis, as the pain could be the symptom of a more serious disorder. Okay, well, they don't have to get like scary about it. And it really did make sense to me. Bad breath. We all have that sometimes. That's universal. Beef. Balancing your diet. Biscuits and cookies. Are they going to tell me that it's all bad? They say that there are benefits. They are convenient snack foods. Some biscuits are high in fiber and they're a good source of carbohydrates. But sweet types may cause tooth decay. Many are high in fat and they're a poor source of nutrients. Okay, fair enough. Blood pressure. That's beautiful. I love that color. This color here. Blood sugar levels. Blueberries. Breakfast cereals and porridges. Bread. I think I'll read one more. Let's read about butter or margarine. Burns, that's interesting. It's quite a short paragraph. Let's read about caffeine, I think. So, the benefits, and before I read this, I know that they're probably going to say that it's bad, and I do not subscribe to that opinion. I drink a lot of it and I love it. Caffeine, anything that contains caffeine, so I'm not trying to convince you of anything. So the benefits are that it's a mild stimulant that can improve mental performance and heighten alertness. The drawbacks, and there are 5, are that it's potentially habit forming and can cause withdrawal symptoms. It may cause insomnia. It can accelerate the loss of minerals from bone. What? It may induce migraines in susceptible individuals, and excessive amounts can lead to tremors and palpitations. Okay. The stimulant caffeine is found mainly in coffee and tea, but is also present in chocolate, in some colas, and in some cold and pain relief tablets. Caffeine stimulates the heart and central nervous system and can help to enhance mental performance when the brain is sluggish. It also stimulates the output of acid in the stomach, which can aid digestion and dilates the airways in the lungs. Though caffeine is relatively non-toxic, it can become addictive. I skipped a line. Too much coffee or tea, which contains about 2/3 the amount of caffeine found in instant coffee, may cause tremors, sweating, palpitations, rapid breathing, and sleeplessness, and may also induce migraine attacks. However, sudden withdrawal could be avoided since this can cause severe headaches, irritability, and lethargy. I'm feeling lethargic, but I have lethargy. Whatever. The caffeine in most colas and in chocolate can cause childhood insomnia. Taken late in the day, even 2 glasses of cola or half a bar of dark chocolate can prevent a child sleeping. There is no need to avoid caffeine if you have had a heart attack, but it is advisable to drink coffee or tea only in moderation. Medical advice is that no one should drink more than 6 cups of tea or coffee a day. But people with high blood pressure, heart problems, or kidney disease should drink less or gradually cut it out of their diet. Pregnant women and those breastfeeding should restrict themselves to 1 cup of ground coffee a day or 2 cups of instant coffee a day. Because fetuses absorb caffeine but expel it more slowly than adults, newborn babies can suffer withdrawal symptoms. Some studies suggest that heavy caffeine consumption may make it more difficult to conceive. Coffee is a diuretic and increases the rate of excretion of calcium. High caffeine intakes are associated with an increased risk of osteoporosis, a disease which weakens the bones, causing them to become brittle. Okay, so I'm still going to drink it, and I'm proud of you if you don't drink it, but I also don't judge you if you do drink it, because we're all on this little rock just trying to have a good time and trying to figure out what to do, and we don't get everything perfect, and sometimes we do things that we're not supposed to do, but we're all just doing our best. Okay, I'm gonna go. I hope you found this relaxing. I'm sorry for some of the doom and gloom topics, but let me know if the gum chewing is terrible, because I'm going to listen back to it in editing and see if it's bearable for me, and usually I don't like it at all, so I was wondering if I could do it in a subtle, bearable way, but we'll see. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you again